Good evening, and thank you for joining us as we celebrate this special milestone together. Please join me in welcoming our 5th grade graduating class of Tuf Shin Pei 5780.
Shem Hashem Elokei Yisrael, Mimini Michoel, Umismoli Gavriel, Umilfanai Uriel, Umeachorai Raphael, Yal Roshi Shchinas Kel. B'Shem Hashem Elokei Yisrael, Mimini Michoel, Umismoili Gavriel, Umilfonai Uriel, Umeachorai Raphael, V'al Roshi Shchinas Kel. Lo sira mi pachad leila, lo sira mi pachad leila, hay na nay nay na nay nay na nay 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 nay, mechit yahuf yahoma. Lo sira Pachad loy lo loy sira, mi pachad loy lo lay la lay lay la lay lay la lay 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 lay, mechet yof yoimo b'Shem Hashem, b'Shem Hashem.
Welcome, proud parents, grandparents, teachers, faculty, friends, and of course, our esteemed graduates. We will begin this evening by hearing a personal message from each of the girls, reflecting and highlighting a memory of their time here in Torah MS. Please give your attention to the screen as we present Pearls from the Girls.
Hi, my name is Esther. I'm going to tell you how much I'm going to miss this school. I've been here for 7 years. It is hard leaving something that you've been with your whole life. I'm going to miss my teachers and friends. They helped me so much in the past. I'm going to miss Torah MS so much. Thank you to the teachers and principals that have done so much for me over the years. Thank you, Mrs. Palgon and Mrs. Ehrenreich, for everything you've done for me and my classmates. I will miss you so much, teachers and friends. I will miss you. Goodbye.
When I was in middle school, I think about my best memory from Torah MS. I know it's going to be Mrs. Palgon. When I think of her, I don't even know where to begin, from the singing to the piskams and to the talking on the bench at recess. Mrs. Palgon helped me so much. When I was having a hard time with the test and understanding Chumash or Navi, she would always let me stay in for recess with her so she could help me. When she first offered that to me, I always said things like, nah, it's okay. I don't need that much help. But I kept on failing and not understanding, until one day she spoke to me again. I finally agreed, and since the first day I accepted her help, I slowly but surely understood so much more. Sometimes I would ask her if I could stay in with her during lunch to review the pasuk. And if she was available, she would say, "I would love to." Mrs. Palgon showed me how to love Chumash, and now it's my favorite subject. I'm so grateful that I had her. I had a privilege to have her as my teacher. I had so many great experiences in Torah Semes. The one I will be sharing with you today is my Birchas Yaakov. We practiced the songs and motions for a long time. Mrs. Bergman made practicing so fun and enjoyable. After practicing so hard, the night of our Birchas Yaakov finally came. I was a little scared in the beginning, but after I felt so proud of myself. This is just one of the great experiences I had here in Torah Semes. I'm going to miss it here so much.
One teacher in the school that I will always remember is Mrs. Moskowitz. When I think of her name, it brings a smile to my face. I love her fun personality and the way she cared for me. She helped me through all my drama and always made it better, even if it took an hour or so. I will always remember walking into her classroom and feeling like I got this, because that is how she made me feel. She is one of the best teachers I've ever had, and I will never forget her.
Once I leave Torah Semes, I know that I will have so many wonderful memories. Over these years, I've had so many different experiences, but the 5th grade memories will stand out as my favorites. Being in the last talent show and participating in the last field day are just 2 of them. But it's not just the experience I've had here, but the friendships I've made, which I know will last forever. Even though we are going to different schools, these friends will always stay in my heart. Now I'm off to middle school, but I know that Torah Semes will be with me forever.
I've been in Torah Semes for 2 years. In all of that time, I've learned more than I've ever learned before. My first day was magnificent. Since then, I've learned many things. I especially enjoy learning math and Birchas Yaakov. I'm extremely happy that I decided to go to Torah Semes because it was the right school for me.
One thing I'll always remember is the Birchas Yaakov. After learning all the songs, memorizing our parts, and practicing in class, we were ready to perform. We all worked super hard, and now it was our moment to shine. I remember Mrs. Moskowitz taking us to the library where Mrs. Fried was waiting with our costumes. I got a tiara because I was doing Yehuda, and all kings come from him. I really enjoyed singing all of the songs and saying my lines, even if everyone was staring at me. Mrs. Fried had prepared delicious cookies and fruits that everyone finished right away. I really appreciate how much Mrs. Fried worked to make us so special. I had lots of fun on that day, and I don't think that I'll ever forget it. Even in 20 years, I will still remember Mrs. Fried and the amazing Birchas Yaakov performance that she made for us.
Out of all the wonderful teachers I have had over the years at Torah Semes, Mrs. Berkman is the most special to me. She helped me in so many ways. Whenever there's a problem, she fixes it. She always makes learning fun and exciting, even virtually. I was lucky enough to have her in 4th grade and again in 5th grade. I am not afraid to ask her anything. These are just some of the reasons why I appreciate her so much and I'm going to miss her.
What I will always remember about Torah Semes is how during the pandemic, all of my teachers helped me through this difficult time for me. They understood that I had lots of things happening in my house. I will really miss going to Torah Semes. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all the teachers for making me feel comfortable and successful every day. You were always there for me. Every teacher from first grade to 5th grade has been amazing. Mara Yofi is one teacher I will never forget, because she was always there for me when I needed help. At this school, I have made many friends, and I am going to miss them when I go to middle school. Thank you so much.
During my years at Torah Semes, I learned so much and in so many fun ways. From career partners to heading to the spectacular, and from running canteen to Arab Shabbos assembly, the highlight of the week, we were really able to live the lessons of Achdus, Chesed, and excitement for mitzvahs. The best part of Torah Semes was that all the teaching came from the heart, and Dvar Hayotzi Min Halev Nechnasim El Alev, what comes from the heart enters the heart.
I remember the time in 3rd grade when we were at the walkathon and I really wanted to get 50 laps. I did 10, 20, 30, 40 laps until I had just finished lap 46, but it was time to go have lunch. No one could stay back without a teacher, so I begged Mara Yofi to stay with me so I could finish my last 4 laps. She told me that she would stay with me until I finished. When I was finished, I was so happy that all I could think about was that I got 50 laps. I was exhausted and weary the rest of the day, but it was worth it because I had reached my goal. This is an example of how patient and supportive the teachers in Torres Emes are. It is a memory that I will take with me when I leave Torres Emes.
When I think of Torres Emes, I think about the amazing staff, the happy atmosphere, the love and the kindness we experience there, and the amazing learning programs which help us learn in a fun way. We had many special events like the walkathon, the Lag BaOmer Field Day, and the Growing in Greatness program that taught us about our Gedolim. We also had weekly Shabbos assemblies where the whole school sings songs together. Being in 5th grade meant we were responsible to give out pizza and sell canteen on Fridays to the entire school, which was super fun. Torres Emes wasn't just about students learning and teachers teaching. It was my second home, and the people were in it were my second family. To me, Torres Emes is a place where I felt comfortable enough to talk to any of my teachers or any of the staff. I've made such wonderful friends here, and I've never disliked any of my teachers. In fact, I think I've been really lucky with the wonderful teachers I've had. Believe it or not, Torres Emes has way more to it than just all of this. For example, it's also given me lifelong lessons that I will always cherish dearly. It's going to be difficult leaving the second home that Torres Emes has given to me, but I certainly will never forget Torres Emes and who it has made me today.
This year was unexpected, but I'm glad everything had worked out. We did Zoom instead of watching videos and had all our regular activities that we usually had in school. From the first day I arrived at Torres Emes, all the teachers were nice and made me feel welcome. My favorite memories are the yearly Shisham Purim carnivals. I especially enjoyed 5th grade because I like being a role model for the younger girls. I will miss Torres Emes Salava forever.
One memory that I will take with me throughout school happened in 1st grade. In 1st grade, my mother was sick with cancer and in the hospital for a long time, so the teachers made sure to make me feel very special and happy. Mrs. Atkin, my English teacher for 1st grade, used to take my brother and I on special Sunday trips to make us feel better. She took us to the mall and let us get something, or she would visit our house and bring us gifts. Mrs. Cohen, my 1st grade Hebrew teacher, also knew what I was going through and helped me with my homework in Korea every day, just like a one-on-one lesson. Mrs. Marlowe would also speak with me about my feelings to help me get through that time. To me, my teachers were not just there to teach me, but to also be there for me like a family. This story is memorable, teaching me that we're not just here to learn, but to also form special relationships between the school, teachers, and friends.
One of my best memories and highlights of my years in Torres Emes was FGF. That stands for 4th grade fun. FGF is when both 4th grade classes got together each week to learn a new dance from Mrs. Moskowitz or play a new game with Mrs. Berkman and Mrs. Moskowitz. There was so much achdus involved, and it was fun to learn new dances and perform them and teach them to the rest of the school. It was fun to learn new games and play them with our friends. Mrs. Berkman and Mrs. Moskowitz taught us different lessons when we played those games. Lessons like how to have more fun together and not get upset when you get out. I love getting together with the other class and being part of such a fun program, which really taught us V'ahavta l're'echa kamocha. I also want to thank all the teachers I had over the past years, especially Mrs. Heinrich and Mrs. Palgan, who have put in so much work and made everything happen virtually.
I will really never forget Torres Emes. When I first came into school, I had just moved from a different country, and you can imagine how I felt. Soon after, I realized I loved Torres Emes. Every day we were greeted by a warm smile from Mrs. Cohen and Mrs. Dursenbaum, and that made our day always start off the right way. All the teachers in Torres Emes have such warm smiles and make everyone feel so good. They are always so kind and encouraging. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to all the teachers, principals, staff members, and classmates who made my 5 years at Torres Emes unforgettable. I will miss you so much.
Out of many wonderful teachers I have had over the years, there are 2 teachers that are extra special to me. Mrs. Aronach is special to me because she was always in a good mood and always had a smile on her face when she taught us. I will remember Mrs. Berkman because she was always caring and always made sure her students understood her work so clearly. Before I leave, I want to say to these teachers that I wish them continued success with their future students and that all the good that they have put into teaching us should come back to them. I have been in this school since pre-K and now I'm graduating. I know I'm really going to miss it here.
This was my first year at Torres Emes. I never knew what doing things like giving out canteen, giving out pizza, going on amazing field trips, and so much more would be like. A part of the year I will never forget is the day I went up on stage with my 2 friends to share my talent. You guessed it, my favorite day was the talent show. I never wanted to go up on stage before. I was always too shy until this year. This was my first and sadly my last year in Taurus MS, and I loved it.
The thing I'm really going to miss about Taurus MS is all the friendships I've made. Like if I see one of my friends in the hall or at the water fountain getting a drink, for that 1 second I'm with them, we form a special bond. I feel like I knew them my whole life, almost like sisters. Since I'm in the oldest grade, if I see a younger student upset or frustrated, I can ask them, "Hey, are you okay?" For that 1 second, we say hello or smile at anyone. We make the other person so happy. Like Mrs. Marlowe taught us, I like to fill people's buckets. In my new school, I'm going to apply the exact same ethos I've learned here at Taurus MS. I'm truly going to miss everything about this school.
From the first day that I walked into the Taurus MS building, I knew that this was going to be an amazing school experience. Each and every teacher greeted everyone with a big smile. I love this school so much and I don't want to leave. I loved all my teachers, but there was one particular teacher, Mrs. Berkman, who I had a special connection with, and that meant so much to me. Aside from her being an amazing teacher, she was always there for me in every possible way. Anytime I was having a rough day in school, Mrs. Berkman was there to help me through it. If my parents were out of town, she made sure I was okay. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my principals, teachers, staff members, classmates for making these past number of years unforgettable.
One memory I have is of our rainforest in 3rd grade. The first thing we did was learn about the plants, animals, and people in the rainforest. Then we all picked an animal that lived in the rainforest and learned about it. After that, we wrote a report about our animal with a picture of it that we drew ourselves. Next, we all made a mask with the face of our animal. After that, we decorated the classroom with green trees and small animals. Finally, the big day arrived. We moved our desks around the pyramid of the classroom, put on our masks, and put our reports on the front of our desks. All the parents walked around the room and listened to us reading our reports. Everyone took pictures and had fun. At the end of the day, I went home feeling proud and accomplished. All in all, it was a great day.
One of my favorite experiences in Taurus MS was the YTCTE program in 4th grade. It was really fun. We got cards for asking questions, answering questions, davening nicely, and more. We each got a big 2-inch binder and a lot of sheet protectors dedicated to our cards. We had to earn or trade cards until we had full sets. At recess and at carpool, everyone was trading. Some sets were about Chumash, Brachos, Navi, the Shvatim, and more. I had a full binder double-sided with cards. Once we had a full set, we had to memorize 3 facts on the back of each card. Then our teacher, Mrs. Freed, would test us to see if we got all the facts right. If we got every fact right on and every card in the whole set, we would get points. At the end of the whole program, we got prizes according to how many points we got. I got a squishy, a fun pen, and a pizza lunch with Mrs. Freed. The lunch was so much fun. We went to Jerusalem Pizza at lunchtime and I got pizza, a Snapple, and fries. We talked about different things such as what we were going to do in the summer and eat. I even got to miss some school. At the end, we took a picture together. Mrs. Freed framed it and I still have it on my shelf. I think that the YTCTE program was really fun.
During my elementary school years, there have been many memorable moments. One particular memory that stands out in my mind is from when I was in 1st grade at my siddur party. We were all very excited. We had worked hard on decorating our siddurim, trying to make them look nice, and were counting down the minutes to use them. Just before we began davening, Rabbi Bauman came in to celebrate this momentous occasion with us. He spoke to us about davening with proper kavanah and how Hashem was listening to each word we said, and how this was our chance to ask Hashem for anything we wanted or needed. He also walked around and admired everyone's newly decorated siddurim. Then our long-awaited moment had arrived, and it was time to begin davening. We each opened our new siddurim to the very first page. I have always loved reading. There is something special about being able to read a story and enter a world of different characters and situations. But this reading was different. It was giving me an opportunity to speak to Hashem every day. Tefillah is a gift we have the chance to unwrap each day. We davened some tefillos we knew and some we hadn't learned yet, and we have continued to learn more as the years have passed. The joy and excitement I felt on that day is one I always hope to carry with me. As I am preparing to leave Torah Semes and begin middle school, I know I have been given the tools I will need to succeed. Torah Semes, you will always hold a special place in my heart.
Torah Semes is an amazing school. It is so much fun and provides a great education. There are tons of memories I had over the past 3 years I was in Torah Semes. One favorite memory is of Mrs. Berkman and her classroom. I feel this way because of what a lovable and musical person she is. I still remember the day of Birchas Yaakov and how hard she worked for her students. I'll always remember her class and all of the other memories in Torah Semes.
Over the 5 years that I've been at Torah Semes, I've had multiple joyous occasions. I have to say that my favorite by far was the 4th grade play. If I'm going to be honest, the play wasn't great, but after all, we worked as a team. I remember every Friday we got together and worked on lines. It was so much fun and everyone had a positive attitude. One of the great things was that we all listened to each other's feelings and suggestions. Of course we had our arguments, but we solved them pretty quickly. My heart aches thinking about leaving Torah Semes because Torah Semes is my family and I couldn't ask for a better one.
I love Torah Semes with all my heart. It is the best school I have ever been to. Since I started school here, it always felt like my home. I had great teachers and great friends. Everyone has been so kind to me and helped me when I needed help. I've had many great memories at Torah Semes, but these are my top 3. Going to Miami Aquarium in 2nd grade, where I fed manatees, having a CMA Chai walk in 3rd grade, and from 4th grade, the Birchas Yaakov performance. We sang beautiful songs about each of the Shvatim in front of women and enjoyed delicious cookies. I will miss Torah Semes so much.
When I look back at my years in Torah Semes, I will definitely think about all the fun times, like joking around Sims and all the parties that we planned for teachers. I had some really fun, entertaining, and awesome teachers, and I want to thank some of them. Ms. Cohen for all the different things that you do for me. Ms. Sachs for teaching me the importance of the environment. Tamara Yofi for all the fun times and Sims we used to have in your class. Ms. Palgon for guiding me through the hard spots. To Mrs. Freed for making learning not only fun but funny too. To Ms. Moskowitz for introducing new ways to learn. And to Mrs. Zernach and Mrs. Berkman for showing me how far I can soar. I never realized how much I would miss my teachers until I did not have them there. I always thought of school as a boring experience, but I can't believe how much this pandemic has made me grateful for all the things I now don't have. So thank you everyone, and last but not least, thank you Mommy and Daddy for sending me to Torah Semes, and for everything that you do.
Something that I will always remember from Torah Semes was when our class made our play on our own in 4th grade. It's not the actual play that's such a memory, but the way everyone worked it out. There was such achdus when we made it. Everyone worked together and included all who wanted to join. Every girl felt like she was a part of a team. The teachers empowered us, saying it was such an amazing idea. They encouraged us to go all out with our play, allowing each girl's creativity to be displayed. They let us perform in front of the school so we could develop an idea that was truly our own. This experience only lasted a little while, yet it made such a strong impact on me. This is what Torah Semes is all about. They always look to build confidence and self-esteem in every girl. Torah Semes values the efforts of every student and encourages us to really shine.
One memory that I will always remember is the 5th grade talent show. I will always remember how hard we worked to get our routine perfect. We practiced for months, and on the day of the show, we were all nervous. It was our turn. The music started playing, and I knew I was ready for this. After the performance, I felt really good. My friends did too. We all did a great job. Even though we were all going to different schools, I will never forget having the best time of my life. I will never forget that day.
My favorite part of being in Torah Semes was being in 5th grade. Around 30% of it was being ahead, having extra things, and being trusted more. 10% of it was the field trips. 20% of it was the previous teachers. And last but definitely not least, the best, 40% of my Torah Semes experience was my 5th grade teachers, Mrs. Palgon and Mrs. Ehrenreich. I love them because they care. They're the ones who gave us the pizza and canteen jobs. They're the ones who worked on yearbook with us. They're the ones who took us on fun field trips. I'm really gonna miss this school.
Mrs. Berkman really stood out in all the fun and excitement during my Torah Semes days. I remember seeing how she made sure that there was never a fight or any other problem in her class. I loved how she took care of every kid in the school, even if they weren't her student. She made every topic very exciting and she used a lot of incentives.
On the first day that Mrs. Berkman was my teacher, I discovered my mommy number 2. I really liked that she treated us like we were her children. I really miss having Mrs. Berkman as a teacher. Honored Rabbim administrators, teachers, and family, Torah MS has been wonderful to me since I was 4 years old and began pre-K. Throughout the years, I made great friendships and gained a love for Torah and mitzvos. My teachers always tried to make learning fun and exciting and taught way more than just the lesson. This year was especially important to me because it was the last year with all of my friends in the same school. This school is a place where I always felt comfortable. Since the start of quarantine and distance learning, it has been very difficult for me because we were separated. Even if we go to different schools next year, we will always have these experiences that we will all share together. Thank you for these amazing years. They will stay with me forever.
The most memorable thing about Torah MS is the amazing faculty. The teachers connect with you. They feel you. They're like a family. Like Mrs. Aronach, I never thought that math and fun could go in the same sentence, but she taught me otherwise. And Mrs. Berkman teaches us never to judge a book by its cover. Chumash is awesome. Our teachers here are amazing. I don't know what I'll do at a new school without them. The teachers here have reached deeper than my heart. They've reached my neshama. To all my teachers at Torah MS, you've taught me so much and I'll never forget.
I started coming to Torah MS in 2nd grade. My favorite part of each year was the walkathon. It was so much fun going off of campus and not needing to wear our uniforms. I loved walking with all my friends and getting sprayed by water with the teachers. It was so much fun. I'm going to miss it next year.
One thing I'll miss about Torah MS is all the fun assemblies we had. Every Friday, Rosh Chodesh, and many other times as well. To give you a general picture of what we do at our Erev Shabbos assemblies, I'll share some things we have done in the past. Stories, singing, cheering, arts and crafts, Parsha projects, videos, special programs, and much more. At our Rosh Chodesh assemblies, we do our Grow in Greatness program and learn about a new Gadol Amidah. As 5th graders, we are the ambassadors of this program. We have many exciting programs and assemblies in Torah MS. I'll really miss what we did throughout the years. But more than that, I'll miss all the people, my friends and teachers. Thank you for everything you have done.
The best memories I have from Torah MS are all the field trips we took. Whether it was to a park, an aquarium, or a chocolate factory, it was so much fun to be together with my classmates. I'm so sad to be leaving. I'd like to thank all the teachers who helped me over the years, and especially those who helped me during these trying times. You have taught me all I'm going to need to be successful in middle school. Thank you.
A moment that sticks out of my mind from my Torah MS years is when they cut the rope for the brand new girls' playground in 1st grade. Rabbi Bauman took the huge red scissors and cut the rope in half. I remember I climbed up the gray stairs for the first time and ran across the bridge. I felt very cool that I could be the very first one on the playground while the older girls had to wait. That was a great moment for me in Torah MS.
Torah MS is the best. I look forward to being with my friends. Even on Zoom we are together. It makes me feel really great. Friends help each other, talk to one another, even cheer you up when you are sad. I think friends are really important to have. This year we are facing many challenges, but we have our friends to help us get through them. And I think that is really great.
One of the teachers that I felt connected to was Mora Ayofi. One reason why is because I've known her for a while and always felt that I can share my feelings with her. Another reason why is because she is such a funny teacher. A different reason why is because she always cheers me up and is always so nice. Those are just a few of the reasons why I feel connected to Mora Ayofi, and I will miss her and all the other teachers here so much.
Let's give a round of applause to all our graduates. You girls have done such a phenomenal job. I can't share how proud I am of each of you. Kol hakavod, what a wonderful, wonderful job. Esteemed graduates, 5 years go by quickly. A lot has changed in these past 5 years. Think back to your kindergarten graduation, 1st grade, learning how to read, celebrating receiving your chumashim, and reciting that very first pasuk out loud together. I know this afternoon you all experienced something very special, a visit down memory lane. And I'm sure you left with an understanding of how much you have accomplished and how many successful years you spent here at Torah MS. In these past few months, things have changed rapidly. You all learned how to use Google Drive, Loom, Zoom, and I'm sure much more. The world around us has changed so quickly. School as we knew it was new for all of us. And as that change began so quickly after Purim, leading to Pesach, to Shavuos, and now to our Zoom graduation, there are certain things that did not change. Your tefillah, your Torah study, and your growth continued, thanks to your teachers, parents, and of course, your very hard work. You girls persevered, got stronger, and more dedicated to your learning throughout this time. There was one more thing I wanted to discuss tonight that did not change in my home, and I'm sure in your home as well. What I'm referring to is Shabbos. I had always looked forward to this part of the week and loved preparing for it. And I know you girls at the Erev Shabbos assembly were our ruach, were our energy in preparing as a school to greet Shabbos. And that will sorely be missed. But during this hectic time, where technology was buzzing in every room, Shabbos took on a whole new meaning. The busy world we now lived in stopped, came to a halt, and the quiet, calm Shabbos, Yom Menucha, was once again enjoyed like it always was, unchanged. I was reminded of an article I had read years ago that really made an impression on me, and I wanted to share this message with you girls. In the year 2000, the New York Times, a very famous newspaper, printed a spoof front page. They created a fantasy front page. They predicted what news would look like in a century from now, in 100 years into the future, what news would look like. And they made it pretty realistic with their predictions. The headline was dated Friday, January 1st, 2100. It contained wild futuristic headlines, including robots and other inventions they imagined would be featured in the news 100 years from when they wrote it. It was filled with predictions and a lot of different ideas. The banner read, issue number 87,414. The cost of the newspaper was $9 and was printed on the cover. At the very bottom of the page, in a small, inconspicuous square, read the following. Jewish women, girls, light Shabbat candles today, 18 minutes before sunset at 4:39 in New York, January 2100. When the production manager was asked about this announcement, he answered, "We don't know what will happen in 2100. It's impossible to predict the future, but one can be certain that in the year 2100, Jewish women will be lighting candles." Isn't that something? As you know, girls, when your mothers and grandmothers light their sets of candles and watch the flames catch and grow and begin to glow, they all whisper their sincerest tefillos for you to light up the world with Torah and Masim Tovim, and for you as future mothers in Klal Yisrael to light your own set of candles. In this very fast-changing world where so many changes are happening, we are now in such uncertain times. We are so lucky, we are so gifted that we have some things that will never change. We have gifts and anchors to hold on to that are forever. I know the theme of your yearbook this year was Gam Zu Latova, and many of you wrote about Gam Zum Latova, about this specific period before your graduation. I think the silver lining here could be, as a rapidly changing world, we have some things that are constant. We have the gift of Shabbos, we have the gift of Tefillah, Torah, and Emunah as anchors to hold on to and to work on strengthening. We had this time to look back and appreciate and be Makir Tov for all the wonderful things we kind of took for granted. Graduates, there are many great gifts you can receive, and you are so fortunate to have received the gift that lasts forever, the gift of the connection to Torah and your Masorah that is emes and truth and is always never changing. You girls have received a hard rock solid foundation that you will take forever from 5 years of learning from teachers and staff that embody Torah lessons. And just the last thought before Rabbi Bauman will speak, I wanted to mention that just like on Shabbos, we stop and reflect, we look back at our week and appreciate all that happened and think about what's going to happen in the week to come. Tonight, at this momentous graduation, take the time to stop and look back at all you have accomplished. Appreciate how much you've gained and realize what incredible potential lies in each of you. Each in your unique way has something special to offer. You are the future leaders and the continuation of our Masorah forever. May you continue to be a source of nachas to your parents and teachers in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and make us and yourselves very proud. Mazel tov, girls. We will now have the privilege and great zchus to hear divrei bracha and a special message from Rabbi Bauman. Please show proper kavod harav when Rabbi Bauman begins, and give Rabbi Bauman your fullest attention.
Thank you, Mrs. Deitch. Welcome and mazel tov to everyone, graduates, parents, grandparents, everyone who's joined us tonight. There are many different things that come to mind, many emotions at a graduation, especially with such a group of special girls. As I was listening to the girls speak, one theme kept coming through, which is how special their connection was to their teachers throughout the years, and how special they are. I think anybody who looks around at all of the people who are on this call tonight, teachers, so many of your teachers are here. I did want to make mention of two of your teachers who are no longer in Florida and are not teaching by us anymore, but really thrilled to see that Mrs. Atkin is with us tonight. Very, very special. And Ms. Schwartz is with us tonight as well. And I hope I didn't miss anyone else, but all the teachers who are with us are still with us, Baruch Hashem, and we miss those who are not. People go through life and they get good at something. Everybody gets good at something. Some people might get good at a certain job. Some people might get good at certain hobbies. Everybody gets good at something, and those who are fortunate end up spending most of their time at something that they're good at. But then there is something known as greatness. People who become great, people who act in a way that's great. And I think everything surrounding the past few months, and especially this graduation, it reminds me of what greatness really is. And I want to share a story with you, which I think speaks to the kind of greatness that we should be thinking about. This is a story that took place in the beginning of World War II. And in Lithuania, which is one of the countries in Europe, it was threatened by the Germans, it was overrun by the Russians, and there were a lot of yeshivas that were in Lithuania. And there was a short period of time when people could still escape, but it was a very frantic and chaotic time, and it was very hard for people to escape. You needed to have special papers and visas and passports, and everybody was running around to different embassies and consulates of other countries, begging them to let them leave Lithuania and go to travel to their country where they would be safe. They would get away from the dangers of war. And there was one particular young man who was yeshiva bacher, and he was very anxious. And he would stand on lines trying to wait to get to see somebody, and it was very frustrating. One day he had the opportunity, as the story goes, he went to the British embassy, and they gave him some paper that said that if you show this paper, at the port, so then maybe you'll be able to, get on a boat and leave. That's basically what this paper said. So he was desperate. He was frantic. He decided he was gonna try to take a chance and go. Before he left, he went to visit his Rebbe, who was Rav Aaron Kotler, who's famous to everybody now as the Rosh Yeshiva of the Lakewood Yeshiva. But before that, he was a Rosh Yeshiva in Europe, in Lithuania. So he showed Rav Kotler the paper, and he told him his plans. And Rav Kotler said, you can't. This is very risky. So this paper doesn't really amount to much of anything. I don't think you're going to be able to get anywhere with this paper. And if they catch you with such a paper, they could send you to Siberia for who knows how long. It's too risky. I don't think you should do it. However, the young man was desperate. He was so anxious he just couldn't stop, and he said, "I have to go." And so Kotler saw that he was intent on leaving. He gave him a bracha, and the young man left. So he got on a bus, a very long bus ride, to a train station a few hours away, and he was hoping to get on the train to go to that port to where the boats were that he could try to go. And he was nervous, he was scared, he was so frightened at what was going to be. Shortly after he left, Rav Aaron Kotler also left, and he also got on a bus for a very long time, and he went to where this train station was. The train station was in a place called Kovno, and there were thousands of people milling around. There was pandemonium. Everybody was trying to get on the train. Everybody was trying to escape. And it was a tremendously chaotic scene. And Rav Aaron starts shouting. Says, Yaakov, Yaakov. That was the name of the young man. He's screaming, Yaakov. He's trying whatever he can. He's screaming at the top of his lungs. He's trying to find Yaakov amongst all these thousands of people. And he doesn't see him. He says, maybe he got on the train already. So he starts running from the back of the train to the front. He's banging on the windows of the train. He's screaming. People are looking at him like there's something wrong with him. He just ignored them. He kept screaming, Yaakov, Yaakov, and he's banging on these windows with all his might. And finally, as he gets close to the front of the train, Yaakov sees him. And he sees that he's running. He says, Rebbe, what's the matter? What's the matter? So listen to what Rav Kotler said to him. He said, Yaakov, and I'll say the original Yiddish, he said, Sorg sich nicht. Don't worry. Just after you left, we got a telegram, and it said that your letter is good. They'll take your letter. You'll be able to get out. You'll be able to leave. I'm just letting you know that. That was the end of the story. This young man escaped and told the story over many, many years later. And he said, imagine that once that telegram came, Rav Aaron Kotler knew I was going to escape. He wasn't really changing anything, but he was concerned about how I felt. He was concerned that I shouldn't spend those hours on the train being nervous, being scared, being terrified at what was possibly going to happen. Just so that I wouldn't feel that way, he spent hours and hours and hours, and he went and he found me amongst all those thousands of people because he was concerned about how I would feel. And when I read that story recently, it reminded me, you girls, you finished fifth grade. You're graduating. You're graduating no matter what happens, no matter what kind of a celebration there is. Hashem has blessed you with teachers who love you so much and care about you so much that they worked hard thinking and deciding and talking and agonizing and working and figuring out the best way that your graduation could be. because they cared. The fact that you're graduating, we all know you're graduating, but they care about how you feel. And that, when you think about your teachers are good at teaching. But what they've shown you for their caring is greatness. And that greatness is a lesson that you should each one of you take with you for the rest of your lives. Because when you really care about somebody else, it doesn't matter how good you are at something. But once you're good and you care about other people, then that's greatness. And at a graduation, when you're so appreciative in general, your teachers, your principal, people who work in the school, your parents, your grandparents, everyone who's done so much for you, realize that the caring part is the real greatness. And that lesson, we're confident that you're going to take with you in Yitzhak Hashem as you go to 6th grade, middle school, high school. The rest of your lives should be blessed. And you should always remember your 5th grade graduation. That was the time that you became aware of what greatness really is. Mazel tov.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Bauman. We will now be spotlighting and calling each girl to hold up her diploma. Rabbi Bauman and I will be calling the graduates alphabetically. So you can get your diplomas ready. Rabbi Bauman is going to begin first, and we are going to alternate.
Sarah Alfasi.
Ita Benzinger.
Adina Berger.
Leva Berkman.
Ahuva Bleasure.
Tehila Bleasure.
Shani Braunschweiger.
Elia Bustani.
Esmeralda Chacron.
Rivka Dietz.
Renee Dennis.
Miriam Drang.
Rebecca Edelati.
Ayelet Franco.
Rena Franklin.
Miriam Malka Gallendauer.
Bela Glatzer.
Radel Goldenberg.
Shayna Greenberg.
Shira Goodfreund.
Miriam Hollander.
Sarah Jablon.
Sarabel Khan.
Zahava Levine.
Rita Levy.
Noah Lamette.
Sarah Maslatan.
Malky Mermelstein.
Kessie Moskowitz,
Avital Prince,
Judith Saka,
Tamar Schiff,
Leora Schwartz,
Penina Schwartz,
Dahlia Silverstone,
Javi Stern,
Esther Weeder,
Bela White,
Esther Walwick,
Tammy Ziskin. Before we begin our final video, I'd like to thank all those who helped make this event such a success. Mrs. Saka, for all your help with the Sidurim that were distributed. Mrs. Chacron, for your beautiful design on the graduates' t-shirts. Our teachers and faculty for helping the girls reach this milestone and for joining us this evening in showing your love and support. A very special thank you to our 5th grade team, Mrs. Sarah Palagon, Mrs. Rachi Berkman, and Mrs. Dori Ehrenreich. Rabbi Bauman cheered for really showing the girls what greatness looks like and spending hours of work and showing your dedication and your creativity in making today a most memorable day for our graduates. Thank you so much. To Rabbi Bauman for your constant guidance, insight, and support throughout. Thank you so much. To Mr. Carlos Chata and his help with the beautiful pictures and video presentation. To Avram Eliezer Friedman, our IT staff, Rabbi Roth, Mr. Akrish, and crew for making this technically possible. To our incredible office staff, I'm not sure where to begin or where to end. Mrs. Mimi Cyril and Miss Nechama Rosenberg. Mrs. Cyril for arranging and perfecting every detail of today's event. Thank you for making this graduation a reality. To Miss Rosenberg for all your hard work behind the scenes and for producing this special video presentation you are about to see. Thank you so, so much.
נשיר כולנו יחד, יש אמונה חזקה מכל הפחד, לא ניפול, לא נרד, כי אנחנו לא לבד, יש לנו השם אחד, יש תקווה אם נשיר כולנו יחד, יש אמונה חזקה מכל הפחד, לא ניפול, לא נרד, כי אנחנו לא לבד, יש לנו השם אחד.
Mazel Tov, graduates of Tavshin Pei 5780.